teacher of metaphysics and a master of the crystal singing bowls. He travels across the United States with 2 John of God crystal light healing beds, offering healing treatments, spiritual counseling, and classes. Reverend Raymond will share his story of personal healing, how he came to work with the renowned spiritual healer and medium John of God, and how he's acting upon a vision that was given to him about the Earth's spiritual future. Also, during the course of the evening, you will learn more about the human energy field, the cellular vibrational field, and spiritual healing. Reverend Raymond will conduct a short sound healing session for your benefit, accompanied with this meditation on the high alchemy crystal singing bowls. Reverend Raymond will also give a more extended meditation and sound healing program this Saturday at Pebble Hill Church as well. So without further ado, let me welcome to you Reverend Scott Raymond.
Blessings and love to everyone for being here, your higher selves. Also, thank you for traveling in the rain and the dark. It was my first experience of that in the Pennsylvania roads, which was quite exciting. All right. Well, again, I'm going to explain a little bit about spiritualism. First of all, we'd like to see a show of hands. Does anybody here have a background in Catholicism or any type of other church, maybe with stained glass windows, like out there? A few people, very much so, and their upbringing from there. So spiritualism gets their start from there. Adam Kardec was a pen name for a writer from France, and back in the late 1800s, and he put out many books. He did many studies and brought spiritualism. He said it was the bringer of light of spiritualism here on earth back out to the people. So he has books on how to be a medium and different things like that. They're very popular in Brazil. Brazilian, another big movement was started by Francisco Candido Xavier. And those may have heard him, maybe heard of his pen name is Chico Xavier. Chico Xavier was an intuitive medium in Brazil. He passed away recently, a few years back. But he was such a grand intuitive medium, he could write both hands at the same time, different things. He had volunteers that would turn the pages for him. And he, during his lifetime of his amazing channelings that he brought through from the other side, the spirit world, of different people, everyone from children to teachers, spiritual teachers that are very well known on earth, to all men and women from all different times. He channeled 738 different writings. So by hand, the longest took 7 months to complete continuously. And this was his labor of love. He has 412 books still in print today. And from these readings, he gave the majority of the money, he lived very modestly, to the poor. With these millions of dollars to the poor, he was nominated not once, but twice for a Nobel Peace Prize. The second time, a list of 10 million people signed to have him nominated again for a second time. Of course, he did not win. I believe one of the times he was up against the Dalai Lama. But he's not much to bring this forward into it. So spiritualism is a belief that there are spirits around us. So most of you that are on a higher spiritual path know that we ourselves are a spirit in this physical body around us. According to Western medicine, and one of the many studies done, one of the more recent ones, saying that our spirit body weighs 6 to 9 grams, medical science fact. When our physical body ceases to exist anymore on Earth, or this car runs out of gas, as we call it, we release between 6 and 9 grams of weight. This is all done on calibrated scales, 1,000 times 3, so 3,000 times, a triple-blind study. So our spirit has density and mass. Spiritualism is believing that, again, or knowing that these ourselves as spirits are connected to these spirits around us that have transcended to this higher level. Whether it be our ancestors, like grandmother or parents or children, or people that came before us, people of higher teachings here on earth that have acquired other informations, or simply Saint Germain, or people like this, or Jesus, or as we call for it, there's some people, Sai Baba, which is said has come back down again. So we can choose to come back down into these bodies again, or stay at a higher spiritual level. And most of us in these churches have seen pictures of the saints and the angels all around us as we chose to come into this religion or through our parents to be awakened in this body. I guess we all wake up when we get in our bodies, when we first are born, I guess we all cry a little bit or a lot, realizing we lost our backpack full of notes. Once we come back down this earth and we start from scratch, and hopefully we can awaken very quickly. As adults here now, as a simple science fact, we have approximately 60 codones, or energy points through our spine, according to Western medicine. Most of our adults here, most people here were born with 20 of them and activated. And the children now, majority of children known as crystal children or rainbow children, indigo children, have 24 activated. So most of you remember we were playing with dolls and little trucks, and children now, 3 years old, they got touch screens already, so their neurons are a little more highly activated. According to Dr. David Hawkins, those that are familiar with his work, Power versus Force and kinesiology, these children, their neurons are developing much faster in their brain. Dr. David Hawkins ran the World Research Laboratories for Medicine for almost 30 years, so he's a very astute and profound teacher here on Earth and researcher. And he says these children, again, their neurons are developing so much quicker than when we were small children, or a majority of us adults, that they can be affected by things such as simple as the flashing lights or the neural programmings that are on television and during commercials. So those that have children or grandchildren, just watch out for these. And they're, again, anything below 7 years old, he recommends just unplug the cable and use that. But how we're affected by energy around us. We're beings of vibration, is where we're going here. We are beings of vibration. It's vibration light. And when people go down to the Casa in Brazil, it's all about raising our vibrations. The human body has an aura around it. Most people know what an aura is around it here. So those that know, we have an aura photography out. You can take pictures, Curlin photography, since the 1900s. And Curlin photography, or photography, takes a picture of the color or energy around our bodies. This is a picture of a Reiki master before and after just a short 10-minute session on the crystal beds, laying down. And again, most of you are familiar with this beautiful gold light around you that flows around our aura when we're in our higher state of consciousness, connected to Source. Again, we've seen churches and temples and ancient scriptures all around the world, similar to all these different pictures from these little circular halos or around us here. So we all have light around us, or a vibration. We are beings of vibration. According to science, in a human body, our average vibration is 62 to 68 hertz. 62 to 68 hertz. And that creates this vibration around us and allows this balance between our spirit body and our physical body. Most everyone knows what chakras are, and they see these chakras again. They spin between the spirit body and the physical body, creating this vibrational field and this aura around us. This aura is constantly changing color according to our moods, according to our spiritual path that's around us. Very simple. So the normal field of this aura around our body is about 18 to 20 inches. Some of you may be 24 inches that practice their energy. It extends out farther. When you get off the crystal beds, those that have experienced that, basically there's 7 crystals, one over each of these chakras or spinning energy centers, and these crystals are filling you with pulses of light. And these pulses of light extend your aura to approximately 7 feet. Some people have been on several sessions continuously filled to 8 feet, even 10 plus feet. This aura gently comes back in a matter of days. Those that have been to the Casa in Brazil, anybody here have been to the Casa in Brazil? So that's you. We have a few there. So you know about the energy. There's life before Brazil and life after Brazil, as they say. But everyone that goes there, your energy field is expanded around you. And during this expansion, these spirit doctors, or these, again, from spiritualism, these people around us that have, some of them have studied medicine here on Earth in the doctor form or PhD. Some of them were energy workers, like some of you, as they transition to the spirit world. There's advanced studies or classes up there, and they bring this energy back down to Earth and they assist us. For we did not ask for everything that came with this body. It's like buying a used house sometimes. We might have a door that doesn't close right, a window that doesn't open right, maybe a faucet that doesn't work, or an outlet. It comes from DNA ancestors, 7 generations back. We send this energy 7 generations forward. Those very common study in the Native American studies, like mother like daughter, father like son. So it can skip many different generations as this energy flows through and comes around us. But this balance between spirit and body and DNA, again, we have to balance out all these things that came forth from these ancestrals, and there may be some little weak points in this DNA. When we have different emotions that we store in our body, again, it can create imbalances, as you all know. So what does this have to do with spiritualism? So we get these imbalances in our body here, and this is called a Roby chart, R-O-B-Y. This Roby chart, we're going to do a meditation that's very similar to this energy here, and this is used by Western medicine endocrinologists. So they study the gland systems of the body, also everything from chiropractors, acupuncturists, as areas of the body work with the gland system. And the first chakra is our needs and wants in life, our survival, and deals with the adrenal glands. And the second chakra goes from the navel to the hips, this orange area here, the color orange, which deals with, again, ovaries for women, testicles for men, as far as the gland system, and deals with emotions, creativity, sexuality. The third chakra deals with the pancreas and all the major organs, again, from the navel to the rib cage and sternum. Again, the fourth chakra area completely encompasses the rib cage to the collarbone to the fingertips and deals with the thyroid, the thymus. The thymus deals with the immune system. The thyroid, everyone knows, is in the throat. Most people know someone with a over or underactive thyroid condition there, and somewhere in their life path. But it goes from the collarbone to the nose, to the cheekbones, to the base of the skull. And it affects all the areas of communications. Again, everyone knows four chakras, issues of love here, and communications. Again, the sixth chakra area of the body goes from the nose to the ears to the very top of the head. And that little soft spot when we were babies on the top of the head, that's violet, deals with, again, this is the pituitary gland. Sixth, seventh is the pineal gland in our upper brain, upper middle brain. Again, the pituitary and lower middle brain. Those that have seen videos of John of God, or those that have visited the Casa and seen John of God was once called a psychic surgeon. The Casa does not want that title going out again, as there are many religions or naysayers that like to cut anything down that's new and spiritual and different from their religion. But to receive a physical touching by John of God in Brazil, you need to ask for it. You need to be less than 55 years old and between 18 and 55 in good health. Again, 499 out of 500 people are not touched during their healing. It is spiritual, just like you are here today in spiritual healing. So when you go to the Casa in Brazil, people come there with different imbalances in these gland systems in the bodies and disease and illness. Some of them have been through the Western medicine routine, which starts from the symptoms, and they go backwards. The spirit doctors that work on you work from the source. Whatever happened to you, whether it comes from DNA weaknesses in the physical body, energies, repetitive patterns from the past life, those that you know for past life. Some people may be afraid of heights. They may have fallen from in the past life. Or they carry the trait they're afraid of water. No one knows why they drown. I had a past life teenager that would binge and purge, and she was poisoned as a food taster for a king in a past life. So we can carry these little traits emotionally, some trauma, some things that have been done to us, and they can affect imbalances in these different systems in the body. So when you go down to Brazil, there is the Casa was built in 1979. It's opened up. And the Casa was found by this Chico Xavier. Chico Xavier found the vortex. Anybody here been to Sedona? A few of you out there, you know about the vortexes down there. But you felt energy there in these vortexes. There's little crystalline quartz in the sandstone, which quartz amplifies energy. And it makes these vortexes which turn clockwise or counterclockwise. They call them positive or negative, male or female. In Brazil, you took all these vortexes in Sedona and you can put them into one, and if the energy was all turned up, it's still not as strong as this vortex in Brazil. This vortex is fueled by a river of crystal that runs through the earth, and this river of crystal, again, runs for, they say, 200 miles. And so it's like a big power line. So when you go to Brazil, or those that have been there, you can really feel the energy. Sometimes it feels like your hair is standing on end, like you got your thumb in the light bulb socket. And every time I go, I try to beef up my meditations and kind of like working out, getting ready for if you're doing let's say a walk for charity. You start walking around the block a little more. Physically, you're training yourself to do more meditation. As you go down there, Again, probably today about maybe 20% of the people that go down there are on a spiritual pilgrimage, and 80% are more for a healing, but you're still receiving a higher spiritual. Sometimes the person in the wheelchair, pushing the wheelchair, receives more than the person in the wheelchair. It depends where we are on our spiritual path as we go through. But as we're in this energy field, this giant vortex, it raises our vibrational field. So any blockages we have, our emotions and different things in our cellular body, are expanded in 7+ feet. This is a protected area. It goes about 1 kilometer long by several hundred meters wide in this area. And so no one in this area can take anyone else's energy. They ask no one to practice energies with any other person there. And just to be in this energy field, allow yourself to expand. And these different spirits, and there's thousands of them, like nurses and doctors, and they assist us on our journey. Some of you in the audience may choose to come back to Earth and do this, be it a spiritual doctor or a nurse, or male or female, as in being an assistant to these different doctors, or yourself, running these energy fields around people, helping them to clear, to walk our spiritual path, to raise our consciousness back to ascension, to bring our spirit back up. So as we're down there and we're being worked on, and the reminder that these spiritualism is just, there's spirits around us. All religions have a base, and it's just getting rid of a lot of the rules and regulations that come with religion. And most of you are here in this interfaith church, or has been, are members here, because of the lack of rules and regulations, and you're very much open to different teachings, from whether it's the kahunas from Hawaii, Native American teachings, to something of maybe Buddhism or Christianity all together as one. So we are a spirit in this body on this sole purpose of finding our higher identity. The casa is open to all religions and all Christianity. There's things on the walls from the Dalai Lama, from ashrams in India, all kinds of recognition from around the world. It is a healing center. Even though John God was raised Catholic, Brazil, when he was born, was nearly was in the 80% Catholic areas. They still have lay leaders down there in the churches, laying the hands on people, and as they do, as Jesus did in Christianity, saying of laying the hands, raising that energy field up. Those that have trained in Reiki or Qigong or Chios, anything, energy medicines or healing, you can know this, we can send energy to other people's field and raise them up. Remember, when below 62 hertz, our vibrations go down, and we allow of the body or disease to come in. So anything below 60, the immune system slowly shuts down. 59, again, the common cold can affect us. At 58 hertz, that's vibrations per second, waves. At 58 hertz is when influenza or the flu affects us. Cancer grows at approximately about 42 hertz. So we need to lower those vibrations and keep them. And how that happens is, those that are familiar with Emoto, anybody here heard of Emoto? Study of water very much. So you know, he just passed to the other side, but he left a huge mark here on the earth, and proof that we are 70% water. The earth is 70% water. Again, those that ever heard of Heart Math, you can go online and Google it. It's an institute in Boulder Creek, California, and they have over 10 plus years, a decade of studying the heart. The heart energy goes out around us about 10 plus feet. And same shape as the earth of the earth. The heart energy, or the heart chakra, is 136.1 hertz. Same as the earth year, 136.1 hertz. So we have this beautiful torus that flows around us from the heart. The heart is the first thing that's formed in the human body at approximately about 18 days. The heart has its fully beating. Those that work in medicine, sound technology, they're looking for that little heartbeat. Those that are mothers have known or felt this little heartbeat. We have no brain, no body, just that beautiful little heartbeat. The heart has its own brain of 40,000 cells. It's in the sinoatrial node, right in the middle of your chest. So those that are hugging heart to heart, going one side or the other, it says, again, that brain of the heart is right in the middle. They said this is where concentration, where our soul is kept or accessed, through this brain, right in the middle of our chest here. Western medicine surgeons know of this, and they know not to touch this. They can stop the heart and it will not start again. The small little brain, it tells the heart what to do. At 20 days, it tells the brain and the spine to form, the body to form around us. And the first thing that grows from the heart, does anybody know? What grows, first thing that grows from the heart? The tongue. The tongue. Believe it or not, the first thing that goes is the tongue. By the Buddhists, again, are always putting the tongue on the roof of their mouths. We have a gland system on the roof of our mouth in the hard and soft palate that goes up to the pineal up here, which is our little satellite dish, which connects us to, again, God, creation, the universe, as we all are part of creation. Now, the original 8 cells after conception, another medical fact here, the original 8 cells after conception, again, they say they never reproduce, according to Western medicine studies, and eventually they'll leave the heart once the body's formed, and they travel from the heart area up here, right down between our legs, or the perineum. And this perineum down there has been named by Christian scholars the egg of life. These 8 cells, they're with us from the moment of conception till we leave this body. It's also known as the Kundalini in Hindu studies, or this Kundalini. So this energy flows all the way down here, and this is the God energy or the creation energy. So this is just simple beliefs of spiritualism, or part of it's medicine, part of it's very much left brain, part of it's very much right brain as it goes through and forth. So most of you know of this, have heard of this before. But again, remember our heart energy goes out 6 feet around us, this largest energy field in the body. And again, Jesus points to the Sacred Heart, or the Mary of the Immaculate Heart, know thyself, know thyself. So when we are running energy, we ask to make sure people, when you go to the casa, those that have been there, you know, to tell everyone not to cross your arms across the heart. Those that know we have little chakras in our hands, little energy points, where we can give other people energy. But so when we do this, sometimes we're just we're cold. We are we feel we need to protect ourselves a little bit. Sometimes it's a simple word from our ancestors that came through with our emotional program and our DNA. Maybe our grandfather said, "Nothing new comes in this house unless it comes through me first." And so he crosses arms during this. So someone in your family, every time you're talking to them, "Hey, I have something new to tell you." They cross their arms. What is it? And why they do that? It's from their ancestral traits. So again, when it's one of the things we learn to clear in our lives as we go through. I know a lot of ladies like to cross their knees. It's comfortable. If you go to the hairdresser, they usually tell you to uncross your knees when you're getting a haircut. Your hair will be a little crooked. Or your chiropractor will maybe tell you, don't do that anymore. Your back or all your ligaments and tendons and things like this. So we know when you get on the crystal beds, a lot of energy. People, especially the women that cross their legs, occasionally men do it, they're getting a lot of hip pelvic adjustments in there, all those ligaments and tendons which are going to catch up to you on length. So we can see that and we can get off the bed from there. But again, it's okay to cross your ankles. That's perfectly fine. Spiritualism. Again, kings and queens for thousands of years, all their portraits, all their paintings. See that? There was, before photography, you painted, you were sitting there, they would be open or hands and ankles crossed. Those ladies that remember the charm school from the 1900s, they call it the princess pose. The princess pose. Again, you see pictures of Princess Di from England, Princess Grace from Monaco, Princess from Thailand, and they're cold, they're all holding their jackets like this. They're never cross the arms. So sometimes we're cold, we're like this. Well, it's just keeping the heart open. And spiritualism believes in always keeping the heart open, allowing the energy to flow from us. So you may see Thomas Jefferson, very big around here, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, all Masons, always standing like this, never crossing their arms. They were very much in tune with the energy on here. So those that are getting to higher spiritual energy or to ascension, remember we don't have to go to the casa to do this. It's why it's done down there. So we keep the energy flowing around us into this auric field. We hug and we shake hands to each other when we're in our fields. Remember, our normal field's 18 to 20 inches. So we come over here, so if I'm in this field a little too long and I'm talking like this for several minutes, usually someone's going to say, wow, this is a little bit too close and uncomfortable. So we take a step away from someone. We all need our personal space, our personal energy field around us. So even if we snuggle with someone or we spoon, we have a partner or children in our life, people close to us, and we're in there, we just need a little space once in a while and take a step away. So after tonight's session, if you need a little space tomorrow or energy from here, we ask you to just slip your shoes off and put your feet on the earth. And does anyone here have reflexology done before? Do people know what reflexology is? We have about 7,000 nerve endings in the bottom of our feet, approximately. And they go to every organ, every place in our body. This is the electrical junction boxes, again, for our body. So we're beings of vibration. These nervous system is how all these electrons travel. Remember, we're neutrons, protons, electrons. All right. Who knows? Anybody guess? What's a proton? What science is that? Positive. Okay. A neutron is neutral, and electron is negative. Very good. Electron, like electricity, travels from atom to atom down that wire in our house. Again, we are beings of vibration. Neutron, proton, electron. So what happens every time we touch a light switch? We pick up our cell phone, which is electronic. We touch our laptop, which is electronic. We start our car, which is electronic. What happens to us? We pick up electrons, more electrons. Electrons are negative, so people get a lot of negative energy. Remember 30, 40, 50 years ago, those remember that had leather shoes, unless you wear nice Italian leather shoes there all the time. Our shoes now are rubber or synthetic. So these nerve endings in the bottom of our feet are not being grounded. So to help change your mood, you slip your shoes off, you step on the earth. And the quickest way to do it is grass. Stone is a little better. Wood is fairly insulating. We can still release a little bit through wood. And why most people have stone, tile, or wood in their homes now versus linoleum or carpet. But it helps us release, again, electrons. Someone's having a rough day, step outside, slip their shoes off, they can sit in a chair, walk on the earth. 3 to 5 minutes changes your mood. We're releasing those electrons. So it's all about vibration. It's all about releasing and clearing, releasing and clearing. So some of it's simple science. Some of it, again, you know from all your training and all your spiritual classes that you've chosen on your life path to go down. Spiritualism is the spirits around us, this energy flow, and clearing. So those that have been down to Brazil or seen the videos, occasionally when they're asked to have a healing by John of God, they do one of 3 things. They either will take a small knife and scrape the eye. You will take this Kelly clamp, a long scissors, and they rub some gauze on some holy water, and they put that up the nose, and they spin that around, which sends energy to the pituitary gland up here. Again, when there's a bone between your nostrils, so it's not poking the brain when it goes up there. And the other thing, they make a small cut on your body and go from there. Now, John of God was a medium when he was a child. He could see things that happened before they happened. And at approximately 16 years old, he was a tailor. His father was a tailor. They were very poor, and he traveled from village to village for work. And as he was traveling to his village, he was waiting for a friend at a riverbank, and a friend met him there, and he found him. He was passed out, and he said, "What happened?" He said he saw this figure of a nun, his sister Rita of Cassia, and she had a stigmata. She had a rose thorn in her forehead that never healed. And a spiritual teacher from the past came in. She came to him, so she said, "I needed to go to this." She told me to go to this local church in the town. So they brought him to the church, and the local priest, and upon telling him this, went out and got approximately 75 people, lined them up, brought them into the church. John wakes up, he's laying on the floor of the church, the priest is looking over him. He's a young boy, 16 years old. And the priest goes, "I'm sorry, Padre, I must have passed out. I haven't had any food since yesterday. I'm passed out from hunger." And he goes, "You just laid hands on 75 people." They said King Solomon came through him at that time and then created these healings. So John's an unconscious medium. And this energy through this. And he didn't believe it. It wasn't me, it must have been God. So he ate all the food. They put, surely they'll find out I'm a fake. He ate all the food he could hold. They brought him to the next village the next day, and the same thing happened. He passed out from the energy. So to hold this energy, as he went from village to village, the priests and the nuns started praying and meditating around him, sending him energy where he could lay hands on more and more people, just like those of you that do Reiki or heal and touch. And that's how he started in this at 16 years old. So he would do this. People would bring him chickens or this or that. He received, again, different land deeds, and eventually got a gold mine and crystal mine, which helped fund these monies of different people that he healed. Many he healed for protection. He healed judges and government officials and even presidents of countries. So more and more people started coming around, and he more in protection. He was persecuted and thrown in jail and beat up during these sessions by different religious people or thugs, or as they go through that they're not like this. Most people have been persecuted. But during his phase here on earth, he persevered. Now, John has a past life that's a little different than most of us, and he was actually a pope from the Catholic Church in the past life during the Dark Ages. And those that here that raise their hand at Catholicism, does anybody know one thing all cardinals have in common, cardinals from the Catholic Church? Those are the guys that wear the red hats and all the red hair, and they vote for the Pope. And most of them, they have the white smoke that comes up when they all agree. All cardinals are mediums. They're all psychics. They have to be visionaries. Upon being cardinal, they get a sapphire ring and their red hat, and red hat uniform represents the blood. Again, by being a medium, a visionary, again, you have to be less than 80 years old as a cardinal to vote for new popes. They vote for one of their own. So if we are a group here, let's say a spiritual group, we're all mediums, we're going to vote for a leader out of us. And we're going to sit there and contemplate who's going to be the best leader for all of us in the church and go through from here.
Yeah, the threshold for electing a pope is 75, actually. But the other thing is, every archbishop that's chosen to be a pope, or a cardinal, they're not psychic to begin with, but they become psychic. Is this accurate?
When you go to seminary school for the Catholic Church, so you go through a period of interviews, whether you're a female nun or a male priest. And this goes all the way back to Constantine, the Roman emperor. So under Roman law, when the Christian church first started thousands of years ago, again, they weren't allowed to teach things like chakras and auras around us. So you had to become a priest or nun, take your vows. Maybe it was due to the Spartacus incident. They didn't want all these freed slaves overrunning the emperor. So it all goes back to the start. So they knew about the energy fields of the body. This is written in books going all the way back to King Solomon's library. King Solomon's library. And these books around again talk about these different energy fields in the body and the DNA and how they go. These books are still attached to the Torah, the Old Testament, the Jewish Bible, and what's called the secret chamber of the heart. Anyone here familiar with Rabalo Melchizedek? Read his books. And again, his teachings, he wasn't teaching from the heart. His first course he put out, and he had to cancel that course and start another course. He tells everyone he was a walk-in. He tried to get this book, but the high Jewish priests were told not to give it to him because he had to learn this lesson as a walk-in here on earth. And to get this information, he even talks about it on his CDs or his tapes or his videos, that he was not allowed to receive this book. He says even though he asked for it. But again, this book talks about all this. So again, we go back to Constantine and all the way about the Council of Nicaea and the forming of the church and how it goes. Be a nun or priest, they knew about this, but they weren't allowed to teach it to the people. So what did they do? How are we doing on time here? We need to take a break.
We're good. No, go ahead.
Okay. So what did we do on this? The council? We mentioned earlier about the windows on the churches from there. So the windows on the church. So they weren't allowed to teach vibrations and colors. So what we did, so those that know the chakra system, each chakra has actually a vibration or a note to it. And there's a chakra down here, it's lower energy down here, that first chakra, higher energy up here in the seventh chakra. The notes go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C for the high crown again. The high crown around us. Again, this is an octave. An octave of music, those that play music or know music, basically the sound of music. Originally Andrews, so bear with me. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Again, up on top. Buddhism, do is Tao, or connection to the universe. This is where we connect our little satellite dish to all creation. That's seven chakra going through. And this octave, again, the vibrations increase and go up. So these priests and nuns that originally started the church weren't allowed to teach us like they teach in Buddhism or Hinduism, for example, or many of the other organized religions of the world, or as the interfaith churches allowed to teach it. So they weren't allowed to teach this, so what did they do? They put bells in the bell towers. Those that have traveled to Europe or South America, or even the older churches in the United States, they have a full octave of bells in the bell tower. So you sit out there in the square and you have your lunch, your meeting points around these beautiful fountains, and you listen to all these bells flowing through us. Remember, we're beings of vibration. So these bells are all clearing us with these beautiful musical notes, and as they flow through us. And that's the lower energies. Again, we walk into the church, and all the windows are colored. What color are the windows? Every color of these chakras or areas they are here. Well, how does this vibrations of color different from vibrations of sound? In physics, again, a piano has 7 sets of octaves here. Excuse me, and 8 notes that go up. Those that play that, and do, re, mi, the next octave is a little higher. The hammer hits the string and makes a vibration. Do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. Now we hear with the human ear about 14 hertz at the lowest, and about average 16,000 hertz for the average adult. There's a few of you out there that the hearing tends to go down from a lot of noises, depending on how much rock music we listened to as a kid or something like this. But we tend to lose our hearing. Well, children's hearing is much higher than ours. They're about 20,000 hertz. So those out there, remember when we were children, you know, hey, your mom's calling you, tell her you didn't hear her. Now you didn't hear her. You know, we played that game when we were children. Children have, their hearing is much higher than ours as it goes through. But so, as we cannot hear this high, as we're going to play the high alchemy bowls, they go up to 100,000 plus hertz. So, we pass our hearing of 16,000 hertz. All those vibrations affecting the water of our body, all the cells and vibrations through us. But our highest hearing, so these pianos, we have 7 pianos lined up. All the octaves are successive. We go through the notes, do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. By the time you get to that 5th piano, the highest octave, the last 8 notes, each key you press, according to physics or science, would make a vibration of sound and also a vibration of color. By the 7th piano, each key would only, there would be no noise anymore. Each key would only be a vibration of color. Color is the high vibration. Those that, anybody here know what feng shui is? It's balancing of color and flow of energy. So when you paint your house, the room's different colors, different flows around the house, it creates a different vibration of energy just by changing your room and your flow. People that are sick or ill in the house, all of a sudden their health comes back again. Their vibrations are reflected to our body, the fields around us, all the way down to the organs, the cells, and the nerves. As it all works, it's all about flow. Again, the colors of the casa. You were there. What color is the casa?
Blue.
Blue and white. And that was chosen by the spirits for whatever vibrational field is for the healing. Everything is the same color as we go there. The colors all have a vibration and meaning around us. So when you walk into that